Hariom. So your first micro lesson is going to be the opening of a class. So in your micro lesson, you're going to ask everybody to sit in a meditative position, and you can give examples for this. So example, Ardha Padmasana, the half lotus, Siddhasana, the perfect pose, Swastikasana, the auspicious pose, Vajrasana, the thunderbolt, or a simple cross-legged position. And you can add any other information you'd like about those sitting positions. Basically, you want everyone to be comfortable, so you're going to ask everyone to have their spine erect and to make sure their shoulders are relaxed, their chest is open, their head is up, and allowing them to gently close their eyes. At this point, you can use some relaxation instructions or some breath awareness. And it's also a point where you can ask them to make a resolve or remember their resolve. And I always like to do this on an inhalation, because when we remember our resolve on an inhalation, it's much stronger. The resolve can also be known as a sankalpa. If they're not sure what their resolve is, or they haven't even thought about it before, so you can think of it as an intention or something that they want to gain from their yoga practice or in their life. So it could be a simple resolve of I'm happy and healthy, or it could be deeper than that too. It might be I want to have a calm and balanced mind. I want to learn how to control my emotions. I want to remove my anger. There's all sorts of different resolves that one might have. So it's really, really helpful to have that resolve, because it is going to give them a lot of focus, and it's going to remind them why they're practicing. So you can use that resolve if you feel comfortable with that. And then what we're going to be doing is chanting of Om 3 times. So with the chanting of Om, it's always helpful if you can chant Om and then get everybody to repeat the Om. Many times people just want to do it quickly and they want everyone to chant all together, but it's very helpful for the beginner to hear how to chant Om correctly and then to be able to repeat it. It might be that you chant Om with them as well, so they don't feel as shy about it. But it is important that you do chant Om by yourself so they can hear it and understand it. Because otherwise what will happen is you say, okay, everyone, let's chant Om. One person chants a short Om, one person chants a really loud one person has like a sound for really long, another has the m sound for really long. So it's important to have that kind of standardization in your class. So chanting of Om and getting your students to repeat. Then after the Om, you can choose. You might want to use the initial prayer like we've been using, the Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, or you might choose a mantra that you really like. It might be, say, the Mahamrityunjay mantra or the Gayatri mantra. There are lots of different mantras out there. So whatever one you feel drawn to, you can use. And it doesn't have to be a Sanskrit mantra. It could be a mantra in your own language. It could be something else. So it might be a prayer, it might be in English, it might be another language. It might be a yogic poem that you want them to hear. It might be some kind of positive statement. So you can choose whatever you feel most comfortable with. You might decide that you don't want any kind of mantra or words, and you might just want to do some kind of relaxation. So maybe relaxing the body parts or using the breath gently. So whatever it is, it should be getting them focused, getting them ready, and getting them relaxed. So after that practice, whatever you've chosen to do, you're going to ask them to gently open their eyes, release their Dhyan Mudra. So we didn't mention that mudra at the beginning, but you can ask them to place their hands into that mudra at the beginning, and then releasing their legs. And that's the end of your micro lesson number 1. Hariom. In your micro lesson group, one person is going to be conducting the micro lesson and everyone else will be the students. When that person has completed that micro lesson, everyone is going to get out their micro lesson checklist chart and fill out the checklist. So this checklist is most importantly helpful for you when you're doing your micro lesson or preparing for your micro lesson, so you know what important points you need to be covering. And it's also helpful after you've done your micro lesson because everybody will check that checklist, and it will help for the discussion to be able to give any advice to each other, any feedback that will help each person to improve. And it's really nice to give that feedback and have that discussion after each micro lesson because everybody learns from that. It might be that when you did your micro lesson, you thought that your voice was, maybe you were feeling a bit nervous and you thought your voice was a little bit shaky, but then someone says, oh, I really liked your voice. It was so calm and soothing. So that's always helpful for you because it will build your confidence. Or it might be that you thought your voice was a little bit too quiet, but someone else said, no, it's actually at the right volume for me. So everyone will have their own feedback which they'll give you, and it will be very helpful for you and for everybody else, because we also learn from all the good things that the rest of the group do in their micro lesson, and also all the mistakes that they make as well. Remember that the feedback should always be positive. There shouldn't be any judgment. Any feedback should be constructive and helpful so that everyone can learn from it. So we're going to look at the checklist for micro lesson number 1. So we've already discussed what are the important points here, but to look at the checklist to make it easy to understand, you can see this first point here, giving the sitting options. So when you're going to be asking everyone to come into their sitting position, you can give some examples of what kind of sitting positions they could be in. So it might be that you give Swastikasana, the auspicious pose, maybe Siddhasana, the perfect pose, Padmasana, the lotus, Ardha Padmasana, the half lotus pose, Vajrasana, the thunderbolt, or Sukhasana, the cross-legged position. So there's lots of different sitting options that you can give. Then you can ask them to put their hands into Dhyan Mudra, or if you've got another mudra, you can use that one, but keeping it simple. And then you want to say some things about their position. So basically things like having the spine upright, relaxing the shoulders, closing the eyes. You might want to have the chest open. There's lots of different things that you can say about the position that the students are in. And you also want to talk about relaxing. So here I write, relax your shoulders and face. You might decide that you want to go a little bit deeper into that. You might want to talk about relaxing all the main body parts. It depends how much time you're going to be putting towards that. But you don't want it to be really, really long either. So you might want to go through the face, the shoulders, the arms, the torso and the legs. That will be enough. We're not doing a shavasana here. But relaxation is important. Then the breath awareness, very important. So you might say, take a deep breath in and slowly breathe out. You might want to do something like take a deep breath in and then slowly breathe out all the stress, all the tension. You might want to say, as you breathe in, feel that nice energy coming inside you. Feel that your body revitalizing with every breath you take, breathing out any tension. You can say that kind of thing, or you can just talk about regular breathing or deep breathing. And then chanting of Om. So as we mentioned, you're going to be chanting Om, and then everyone's going to repeat after you. So things to think about is how you're chanting, how is the volume, how is the length of that Om? Is it around about 10 seconds? Is it shorter? Is it longer? So those things are also important. It should be easy for the students to copy you. And then the point about your voice. So we want to have our voice nice and calm and relaxing. We don't want to be shouting at our students. We don't want to be bossing them around. We want them to understand what we're saying very clearly. We want it to be easy to understand, and we want them to feel relaxed by listening to us. So all of these things are really important in your micro lesson, and having that checklist is going to make sure that you cover all of those important points. So now you'll see just an example of how you can be conducting your micro lesson. How are you? Hurry on. So today we're going to do the opening of a class. So if all of you can come into a comfortable sitting position, it might be that you're in Ardha Padmasana. You might prefer to sit in Swastikasana, the auspicious pose. You might prefer Siddhasana, the perfect pose, or you might prefer the simple cross-legged position. If you find this cross-legged pose is difficult, you can also sit in Vajrasana, the thunderbolt pose. If necessary, you can also sit with a cushion underneath your bottom. So especially if you're having a little bit of pain in your knees or pain in your back, then it's helpful for you to have that cushion so that your spine is upright. So whatever position feels most comfortable for you, you can bring your legs into. Now from here, we want to make sure that our spine is going to be upright. We're going to be placing our hands into Dhyan Mudra, the meditation gesture. So this is where we're touching our index and thumbs together. And here resting the backs of our hands onto our knees. So here, you're going to keep your spine up, make sure that your shoulders are relaxed, gently closing your eyes. So your chest is open, your head is upright, taking a deep breath in and out, and again in and out. Just noticing how you're feeling. How is your body? Are there any areas of tension or tightness? Just notice how you're feeling and just try to relax. And now, as we inhale, we're going to remember our resolve and exhale out. Feel that with every breath you take, your body's relaxing that little bit more. And now we're going to be chanting Om and the Guru Mantra. You can repeat it after me. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Gurave Namaha, Gurave Namaha. Gently opening your eyes, releasing your hands from Dhyan Mudra, releasing your legs, bringing them out in front, shaking your legs, Hari Om.